race fans. Welcome back once again to Garden Canyon Run, the home of the most dangerous track in the Northwest. This is the Summer Round Robin. We're up to round 8 of 15. I'm Brock Wheeler. I'm going to be bringing you all the action today. Here's a look at the current standings. You can see that we got a tight two-way battle up on top there between Maxine and Matthew. Shaping up here pretty good. There's a lot of racing to come. Anything could happen. Let's take a look at the track here. We start in the start gate, we come down into turn 1 and then immediately hit checkpoint 1 right there along the second straightaway. Checkpoint 2 comes the top of the descent that takes us down into the garden bed. This is one of the more dangerous sections of track right here. Checkpoint 3 is right at the bottom of the descent at the entrance to Painter's Tape Gully. When you leave there, there's checkpoint 4 on that final straightaway before you hit the turns. Checkpoint 5 is right in between turn 4 and turn 5. Checkpoint 6 at the bottom of that finish ramp. And then checkpoint 7 and 8 on the finish straight. And there's no curb, there's no sidewall, there's nothing there to keep the cars from driving right off into the crowd or into any of the cars. Alright, first up, we got Rood driving for Uncle Elvis Racing. And that number 10 T-Bird up against Kit KM and Jet for Gen X Vintage Racing in World Machine. Kit KM's on the inside, Rood's on the outside. Ricky's looking pretty good here. Ooh, takes a tumble, but he's back on his wheels. And Ricky's was called in to replace Wildcat Willie, whose Jaguar suffered a broken axle a couple of rounds ago, and it took Ricky one race to get his wheels underneath him, so to speak, and then he's been on a tear ever since. Here we are looking again at Kit on the inside. Ricky just bullying his way through turn 1, looking good, riding the brakes down on the descent there into Painter's Tape Gully, but just carries so much speed. Bam! He's lucky to get back on his wheels. And couldn't quite get down there across checkpoint 5. There's Kit. Still on his wheels, but didn't have enough momentum. Alright, let's take a look at run number 2. Now we got Kit on the outside, we got Rood on the inside. Oof! Man, Kit carried a lot of speed coming down to the descent. And if he could have made it around Ricky, he might have been able to earn some points and even things up, but he ran right into him. Yeah, Ricky easily won the battle into turn 1. And then just pulled away. Oh. Bad line coming into turn 2 though. And then there's Kit hitting him right in the front end, knocking him back on his wheels. Alright, that battle goes to Ricky. So not only does he get the points, he also gets 1 point for winning the battle. Alright, next up, we've got Gretchen driving for Alley Cat Race Club in that pink number 29 Fair Lady. We got Polaris also driving for Alley Cat Race Club, driving safety 3rd. Gretchen on the outside, Polaris on the inside. Oh man, and it's a heated battle. Neither one of them wants to give in. But Gretchen's gonna win the point. Gonna deny Polaris getting around. Here we see Polaris wins into turn 1, but just has a hard time with that inside line, and Gretchen takes him a long way around. Then of course neither one of them makes it down across checkpoint 2. So that's 1 point for Gretchen. And here we go now, Gretchen's on the inside, Polaris on the outside. What can Polaris do? Oh, Gretchen's gonna stay in the lead. Looking good. Oh. Now we just have to see whether or not she wins that 4th point there. Looks like our corner judge is checking it out. Oh, they've already awarded it to her. They are going to give it to her. So you can see Gretchen wins into turn 1, but just barely. Polaris gets her turned around in reverse, but she just throws it in reverse and keeps it going. And then Gretchen pulls away right here on that descent. A little too much speed. She does end up back on her wheels. Alright, so Gretchen's going to win that battle. And there you can see all 4 wheels were over the line. That was a good one for Gretchen. All right, next up we got Snakes driving for Rust Belt Diecast Racing in Filthy Animal. And we've got Nick Deavers driving for ND Racing in the number 3 NASCAR. There's a couple of pretty evenly matched cars here. Snakes on the outside, we got Nick on the inside. Oof. Nice overtake by Snakes. Gets a little hot on the brakes. Coming down to the sun, loses most of his momentum and he can't get across checkpoint 4. So we're gonna have to take another look at this to see if Nick gets that first point or not. So Nick wins the battle into turn 1. He starts to lose it right at the checkpoint. He gets across there and earns that first point though, but then Snakes takes over from there. Gets the second checkpoint. She gets the third checkpoint, but he doesn't have enough momentum to make it to checkpoint 4. So after round 1, it's 2-1 Snakes. Nice looking car, that Kia Stinger. All right, now we got Nick on the outside. We got Snakes on the inside. Snakes once again getting the battle into turn 1. Rides the brakes pretty hard again. Oh, and then here comes Nick. Oh man, carried all kinds of momentum down onto the finish straight. A nasty wipeout. Oh, it looks like he just barely missed some spectators down there. Okay, so we got a good battle into turn 1. Nick gets it all wrong. And then on that top straightaway, Snakes gets turned around and that ruins their entrance into the descent. But Nick has kept it going. And here he is making a pass, coming through Painter's Tape Gully really nice. Takes it all the way down to the finish straight in reverse, but then just loses it. Right next to the clubhouse, right up against Uncle Elvis's Silverado and that Jag. Sitting there waiting to get taken home. Oh, just barely missed that dude. Man, you are lucky. I don't know why you're sitting so close to the track anyway, but, you know, that's on you. Oof, nasty crash. All right, well, let's all tie it up 4-4. We have to go to a tiebreaker here, folks. Once we get Nick back on his wheels and back up to the start gate. All right, tiebreaker round. Nick's on the outside, Snakes on the inside. Oh, Snakes looks like he's taking it. Can't make it to checkpoint 4. What happened? Oh, Nick did make it down the descent, but ended up on his roof. I do believe that's Snakes taking this battle. Yep, there we go, 7-4, plus 1 point for winning the battle. That's 8 points to the good for Snakes. Oh, look at that. You can see that Nick made it back onto his wheels after riding the curb. Nice job, Nick. Yep. Snakes having a hard time getting far down the track. Very consistent getting to checkpoint 4, but past checkpoint 4, not so much. All right, next up, folks, we got Dusty Old for driving for Spirit of 64 in the Yellow Screamin' Holler. We got Dirtis driving for Team Ragtag, or driving Old Style for Team Ragtag. Dirtis having a hard time here, especially turn 1 is giving Dirtis all kinds of trouble, as you can see right there. Not so for Dusty, though. He does a little 360. Look at that. Perfect run. Dusty, man. Does end up on his roof there past the finish line, but 8 points. Here we go. Easily gets the whole shot. Nice line out of turn 1. 360 for the crowd. Dirtis is left up high and dry on turn 1. And then look at Dusty handle Painter's Tape Gully like a champion. Turn 4, turn 5. Straight down the middle. That's how it's done right there. Dusty putting on a nice show. Yeah, there's Dirtis up in turn 1. He's got to get that figured out, or he's not gonna earn any points. Looks like Tom, Dick, and Harry fighting over who gets to drive the Yellow Screamin' Holler back up to the start gate. All right, so here we go. Dust in the outside, Dirtis on the inside. Dirtis winning the whole shot. Dirtis looking good out of turn 1. Oh, Dirtis. And Dusty once again not letting that opportunity go to waste. Dang, I think he I think he hit a photographer. Yeah, it looks like he ran over one of our photographers down there. And there's Dirtis on his roof in the garden bed. All right, let's take another look at this. Dirtis, like a rocket, into turn 1, gets the exit wrong, gets a little bit of help from Dusty, and then in reverse just can't handle the descent and goes off track. Dusty, meanwhile, looking good, coming into turn 4, turn 5, and then loses a little bit on the finish straight. Uses the flagpole to get around checkpoint 7, and then yeah, just kind of flattens one of the photographers. But like I'm always saying on here in the 64th scale universe, you know, these 64th scale people are resilient and they are really tough. We're getting Dirtis set up. He's gonna vent a little frustration here and get back at it. All right, here we go. And next up, we got Leonardo driving for Diego's Diecast in that number 14 Porsche. We got Scooter Roundwell driving for Spirit of 64 in that bright yellow Buick Stalker. Scooter, oh, it's a nice, oh man! The Scooter easily took the whole shot. Leonardo has never been the fastest out of the gate, but where he comes in is consistency in the farther end of the track. Ooh, man, Scooter ends up down in the garden bed. So here we go. You can see that Scooter won the whole shot, and then Leonardo starts picking up speed right here, and then does a little nudge, and look at that, just sends Scooter off track, but then rides the brakes a little bit hard and doesn't have enough momentum to get any farther than checkpoint 3. That is some aggressive driving by Leonardo right there. All right, run number 2. We got Leonardo on the outside, we have Scooter on the inside. This is up to you, Scooter, to even it back up. It looks like he's doing just that. And this time Leonardo ends up in the garden bed. Scooter ends up across checkpoint 2. Or across checkpoint 3, I should say. Beautiful looking run for both cars in and out of checkpoint, or out of turn 1. Yeah, not enough momentum there for Scooter, or he had a nice looking run in front of him. Alright, but he is going to take the battle. Alright, and that's going to move us up to Colin, who drives for Cut Baits Racing in that blue GTO, up against Daddy G in Smiley 1. He drives for G4 Diecast Racing. Daddy G winning the whole shot. Looking pretty good coming down the descent. Oh, and then gets off track. Oof. Looks like catches our corner judge out of position. So it looked like Colin was doing pretty good, but from behind, Daddy G takes the win into turn 1. Has a little trouble on that upper straightaway. Puts it in reverse to come down the descent. And then coming out of Painter's Tape Gully, just loses it. Catches our corner judge off guard. But keeps it wheels side down. Alright, let's see if we can, in run number 2, if we can get Colin here to even things back up. It's 3-0 right now, and Daddy G again with the whole shot. Oh, and loses it coming down the descent, but here comes Colin. Can he get across checkpoint 4? Has he made it across? Yes, he has. So, and yeah, there's the corner judge agreeing, yep, checkpoint 4. Daddy G down in the garden bed. Take another look at this. It is Daddy G's that's going to win the battle here, but Colin did get a couple of points up on the board. Yeah, both of those G4 Diecast racing cars have a little bit of trouble on the exit of turn 1. Oh man, speaking of trouble, that's where Daddy G ended up in the garden bed. And then Colin rode the brakes a little bit too hard. Didn't have enough momentum to go any farther than checkpoint 4, but good on you getting across there. Alright, next up we got Xanthe driving for Just Another Pop Culture Reference in that beautiful Rainbow Bright, up against Matthew Deavers for ND Racing, driving Superman. Superman's on a tear right now. And this is why, winning that battle out of turn 1, and looking, oh man, looking real good until he, in turn 4, just gets something wrong and ends up on his roof. Xanthe did her best to get down the track, but ends up off track herself. So here we can see that despite a nice battle from Xanthe, tried to go up in the inside. Matthew takes it. He loses a lot of momentum right there. He gets back on the descent. Handles, well, it gets thrown out of Painter's Tape Gully a little bit, which is in Xanthe quite a bit. So Painter's Tape Gully looked like it was the downfall for both those drivers in that section. That's usually Matthew's, so it sets him apart from the rest. It's how well he handles Painter's Tape Gully. Alright, but we'll have to get him flipped over on his wheels. Here's another look at both him coming out of Painter's Tape Gully, and then, wow, look at Xanthe getting thrown out of there. Alright, we'll get Matthew back up into the start gate with Xanthe. This time we're going to see Xanthe on the outside, Matthew's on the inside. Matthew getting the whole shot. Another nice looking run by Matthew. Oh yeah, corner judge didn't want to miss that. That's right, that's a perfect run, 8 points. Xanthe's on a roof in turn 1. And here's how it went down. Matthew just took the whole shot and didn't look back. Little 360 right there like Daddy G, not to be outdone. A beautiful line down into Painter's Tape Gully. Gets the corner judge back up into the position so she can go look at the action down the finish straight. Beautiful run for 8 points. That's how it's done. Alright, last up here, we've got Maxine Hunkel driving Cyclone for 503 Racing up against Speedy G for G4 Diecast Racing. Speedy G's driving Smiley 2. Speedy G on the outside, Maxine on the inside. Speedy G's taking it on run number 1. Oh! Oh! Double! Oh man, this is just terrible. So this is your current leader, Maxine, losing out on the whole shot. Speedy G's going to take it. A beautiful line out of turn 1, but then gets turn 2 all wrong. Goes off track down to the garden bed on his roof. But here comes Maxine in reverse, getting thrown out of Painter's Tape Gully. Barrel roll after barrel roll. Oh man. Yeah, that's just spectacular crash. But like we were saying before, these 64th scale drivers and cars, the 64th scale universe is incredibly rugged. Alright. Now we got Maxine on the outside, we have Speedy G on the inside. Speedy G once again taken, but it's a battle from... Oh! Maxine tried to get up the outside on the descent. So here's Speedy G winning the whole shot into turn 1, and that's where Maxine gives it some gas and comes right up alongside. Oh, and then catches, it looks like the center divider, the rough edge, caught the edge of her car. Right there. Oh man, sent her flying. So that means Speedy G's gonna win that battle. That was exciting. And that's it, folks. That's the end of the day right there. Here's a look at the leaders board after that. We can see that Matthew's now in the lead, and he's opened up a 10-point advantage over Maxine. Then we got a tight grouping behind that, vying for the 3rd spot. Another tight grouping behind that, and then there's also a battle down at the bottom. Look at that, Kit and Dirtis are vying for that bottom spot as well. Here's some other stats you can check out on your own time. You want to pause it here and check this out, but we've been keeping track of all kinds of stats here at the Canyon. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching, folks. We really appreciate you coming along for this, and consider subscribing if you haven't. There's playlists you can go back and check out all the tournaments from the beginning. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming along. I'm Brock Wheeler. It's been my pleasure. We'll see you again in about a week or so. Bye-bye.